We have a quorum. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Let's see, where are we here? Okay, call the meeting order, approval of minutes. John, I think you put these together, right?
Yep.
Thank you for doing that. So you take a look at this, and then I'd appreciate a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion, we approve minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Second? Who's the second, John?
Second. Yeah.
Okay. No issues? Everything looks good? All right. So we have a motion and a second. No discussion, apparently. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. And I want to make a note of that. It's unanimous, okay?
Okay.
Let's see.
Abstain one just to get you used to doing it.
Got that done. Do we have any transfer requests? Very good. You can come anytime when you got that answer. Good. We have our recording secretary here, Jeff Hadley. And welcome. Good to have you, believe me. Really good. And well, we'll see how things go. I would ask John to continue to provide some mentoring and
Sure.
so forth, if you don't mind. We had an excellent training session, kind of like by invitation, I guess. It was the selectmen, and 3 of them showed up, as I recall, and several of our people were there, and there were some other folks from various committees. And basically, Larry Ballantyne came up with the idea of doing some budget training and get everybody more knowledgeable about the language and the process of budgeting in Harwich. And went very, very well. Chris Clark and Carol were the people up front talking to us and answering questions and so on. And Carolyn did a nice job. Chris did a nice job. And I think what I'd like to do is schedule sometime in the new year, maybe we can take and spend an hour or so talking about what we learned and get the information from the trainers, make sure we have what we need. But it was very, very good, and so happy with that. The one of the questions I've got with the news that Chris is moving on is, what's the impact on the budget at this point in time? Carol, do you know?
What's the impact on the FY20 budget?
What?
For
between now to the end of the fiscal year, and
the impact? So I think you're going to see some impacts other than what you maybe were already anticipated. But as far as the tornadoes are concerned, the town administrator received an update from Julian Sear stating that they needed to reconcile the 2 supplemental budgets that were passed by both chambers, and then they can help get those dollars released to the communities, and said that he would be in touch when that happened. They were able to get the, Sarah Peak was able to get the full amount of $3.02 million to the House versions of the bill as an earmark. That was the total that the Cape communities had claimed in expenses. Harwich was a large portion of that $3 million. To date, we've spent about $814,000. And we don't really anticipate surprises at this point for any additional expenditures. I mean, I suppose there could be some that we weren't anticipating based on some of the tree damage that still is
Still there.
in the community. So, but that's where we are with regard to the tornado expenses. I think that the Finance Committee will be asked to, may be asked to assist the town with, it could be a reserve fund transfer request that comes forward, because as you're all aware, I'm sure the town administrator has resigned. There'll be new personnel in that office, but there's an agreement, a separation agreement, which the town has to honor through June 30th. So I expect that once the Board of Selectmen have their plan in place, that we would be coming to you with a request.
Should I have a
Yes,
question
John.
on that, Carolyn? So, by that means you won't pay Chris's full salary until the end of June.
That is included in
Yeah.
the separation agreement.
And now, will the assistant town manager get bumped up dollar-wise at all?
I don't know what the board, I don't have any information with
Okay.
regard to what the board is planning on
Doing,
for
yeah.
next week. It's on their agenda.
Okay.
It's on their agenda for Monday.
Because I imagine part of that will bring in now an assistant to the assistant, and a dollar amount, like Bob Lawton, is that who we brought in the past?
Yeah, Bob
Yeah.
Lawton, he's been here a couple times.
Yes.
He's very good.
Okay. So that's what you mean by the dollars moving up, right?
I expect that,
Yeah.
that we will have to come to the committee with a
Yeah.
request.
Okay. Angela?
As I recall, we don't have very much money in that account.
Well, that was the next topic I thought that I would address with the committee. I know that the committee voted on the $50,000 for the
Right.
tornado. I have yet to record that yet.
Pardon?
Because I have not even recorded it yet. And I've held it off because I thought that would be funding coming in from the state. And I thought, why not wait? And so I think once we have clarification and confirmation that, that the town will be reimbursed for their expenses, you may want to consider rescinding your vote. I don't, it's completely up to the committee. But, so it was $50,000 then.
Can I just-
Angela?
Are the selectmen aware of the fact that they may be short of funds, or we may be short of funds? Because they keep on, they watch them on television, come up with things to spend money on, and recently.
I am sure that I will have a conversation with the chairman of the board.
Because I don't think they're aware of how much money that can be.
Well, I think what I need to sit down with Chris and Larry Valentine and you know, get a sense of where they really think they're going to end up here. Because we paid for an emergency and a chunk of change, and it looks like, still looks like we're going to get some reimbursement. So I want to make sure they understand that money is owed back to us
Correct.
on the budget. And you're okay with that, right? Okay. Did Julian Scheer indicate any concern about the reconciliation budget, or?
He said, and I'm sorry, I left this out because I thought it was just a side comment. He said that's on, after it said, we need to reconcile the two supplemental budgets passed by both chambers. And he wrote in parentheses, that's on us. It's a silly dispute between chambers. So I would say no.
A silly dispute? Just a fun a minute, huh? Okay, good. When's the next time we have to make a report to anybody as a town on all this? Do we have to talk to FEMA or the state or anybody?
No, all of the documentation had already been submitted to the state.
Mhm.
FEMA is not involved in
They're
this.
not involved at all, right?
So I believe that we have submitted all the documentation that we need to submit already.
Good, good. Any question, Dan?
No.
No? Tom?
I'm good.
John?
No, good. Did you want to back up, Dan, to the training session? You had a question on that?
Oh,
I had a question on that.
Let me finish this. Any more, okay.
I just have a question for Carol.
Mhm.
Is there a video of your presentation on the website?
No, there is not.
There should be.
I thought there's, yeah.
There's a video of the Municipal Finance 101
Oh, that's not.
session. There is a video of that, but there's not a video of the budget workshop.
Oh, okay. But the municipal financing 101, that's on there.
That's
Because
correct.
that was a good part of the budget presentation,
Right.
or budget training. Okay, thank you.
Would you like me to send you a link to that?
Oh, I can get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was asked the same question, Dan. I knew there wasn't one, but I thought it was a good idea to
Yeah.
have one. And if you were thinking of holding another training session or something like that, maybe at that point we can record it. Because that was an excellent video for townspeople to watch. And
Sure would be.
because at town meeting, people said we didn't know this was going on. And even though we post these meetings year-round, we know that. But that was a very good meeting that could be shared.
Okay. I agree.
Just a question, is it being run on Channel 18 every once in a while? Or is it?
The Municipal Finance 101, I can check. I don't believe so, but I'll check.
It would strike me even if you ran it once every 2 weeks, the old one.
Mhm.
Something.
Was that similar to what you did and Chris did, the 101, the training video? Very similar to what you did for us?
I would say that it was particularly different because my whole intention was to foster a conversation between all of the committees that were there, and you guys did a great job. So that was not quite the case of what they asked me to present for that other.
I got a question for you, Carol, while we're still talking here. On this timeline for the budget, it says Monday, March 3rd is the joint budget article hearing between us and Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee, no, it's just Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen. So before it's been on Saturday morning, but this basically says it's Monday, March 2nd. And do you think about that, or about the schedule, or?
I don't, but I can find out.
Yeah.
Are you referring to the department head meeting, Jack, on that? Because we met on Saturday with all the department heads at some
Yeah,
point.
I know.
We always do.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
this is the joint budget article hearing between us and the selectmen, like it was done on Saturday, but now this says it's gonna be done on Monday, March 2nd.
But it doesn't mention anything about department heads, though.
It does not.
Yeah.
That's fine, right. So, yeah, if you could find out and maybe ask somebody important, what are the odds it's gonna stay on Monday, March 2nd, because these things can shift around. If you don't mind, Carol. Tom?
If you go back, Jack, Saturday, February 8th is a Selectmen and FinCom
Way
budget
up above
presentation.
there.
Is that maybe the one Saturday you're thinking of?
Well, that's the thing we have done historically, but I'm kind of looking at this and saying, okay, we got the one on the 8th, but then down below it says Monday, March 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to get clear what the difference is between them. We've still got some time to get that taken care of. John?
I think that's the one that Tom just mentioned. I'm just looking at my notes. The joint meeting we had last year was on February 2nd with the selectmen and the department heads. So maybe that's the February 9th one then.
Well, it does say presentations, so
Yeah. Because that's when we met with all the department heads, was February 2nd of last year.
But I don't want to assume presentations, that's what that meeting is, but it
yeah,
is listed for Saturday.
That's what that must be, yeah.
Okay. It's logical that it would be. Angela?
No, it's fine.
You're fine? Okay. Yeah, there are a number of dates here that, you should keep this be aware of when we're going to get together and so on and so forth. Okay? And if it looks like you got a problem with one of these dates or something, let's talk. Make sure we do what we need to do. Okay?
We can make a copy, Jeff, after of that list for you.
Okay, I'll do that.
Take them. And if you want to take and make a copy tonight, and you feel free, you can run down right now and do it if you want. You can do it at the end of the meeting, whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll just try that at the end.
Okay, good. All right. We still have the zero-based budgeting discussion as an ongoing topic. And I don't know, Tom, if you've had anything you want us to do or read or whatever?
No, I've been following through, and it's just to get the whole town to shift the way we're doing business now. By the time it would fall into play,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's just, the more I'm reading into it, and the more work that would have to be done by the town, and shifting gears,
Yeah.
that is just, I don't think it's gonna come to fruition. It's just gonna be way too long to implement.
No? Okay. I was actually reading some of the stuff on this online about it, and like 7 or 8 different sources. And the startup changeover costs are not trivial in most situations. So, that alone makes it tough, especially a year when we know that finances are going to be tight. So, we'll put it in abeyance for now. If that's okay with you. All right. Okay, guys?
Yes, I think.
All right. Good. All right. I have not heard from Mr. Ford, and I met with Larry Ballantyne last week to talk about some things, and one of them was the FinCom staffing here, and of course Mike is the sole person responsible for helping us get our staffing where we need it. So I just told Larry because he was interested in it if we're making any progress. It's a tough. I gave Mike a list of people I think would be okay or good in the board, and I'm hoping that'll get resolved here sooner rather than later. The holidays coming, we've got the December meeting, and then we'll have them right after the first year, and that's when the things really start heating up, if you'll remember. So that's a bit of a concern. Okay. Anybody have anything else, Angelo?
Jack, I just asked you a question. You mentioned the first of the year. Last year, there was an opportunity to go to the mass meeting
MMA, yeah.
in January.
Mhm.
Is that going to be possible this year?
If
I don't know if money or
the
anything. but-
question is who wants to go,
Well, yeah.
and then I'll go find out if we can pull it off.
The reason I bring it up is I think that if you've been on this committee, you haven't gone to that once,
Yeah.
you should go. And I don't have to go. I'd love to go because it would be fun to go and meet the same people again, but
Mhm.
don't have a need to, but I think it would be terrific. It gives you a whole different view of
Yeah.
the
But you-
financial world here.
So you've been to it a couple times?
Pardon?
Hey, you've been to it a couple times?
I bet you I've been to it 7 or 8 times.
7 or 8 times? John, you went,
I have never been yet, and I was thinking of going this year, yeah.
Tom, have you done it?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
I have not, but I would be interested in going.
Yeah.
By the way, if you had the money, I'd go too.
I'll, well,
Do we know the date
I
roughly?
don't know, how much, do we budget anything for that line item?
You got 3,500, I think, or something like that.
Correct. So you have plenty of funds.
Yeah.
I mean, that was intentional last year during the
Yeah.
budget
Right,
sessions or
Okay.
during the budget season. So the dates are, I
Okay.
believe, the 24th and the 25th of January, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's usually a Saturday and a Sunday, right?
yeah, for those that want to stay over Sunday, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
not just
The 24th is a Friday.
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 So it does start
Yeah.
on Friday.
Okay, yeah, so it's just one night, overnight stay, yeah.
Friday into Saturday.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, you can do it.
And if you want to go and you stay overnight, but if you don't need to stay overnight, then we save the cost of that hotel for that night, so.
There's the full agenda both days, right?
Yeah,
Yes. It goes into the evening on
so you'd be interested in
I
going,
would definitely be interested, yeah.
Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay. Okay, so we've got John, Chory, Tom, Jerry, and Dan. Okay,
One of the suggestions, if 3 or 4 people are going, it's probably a good idea to take one car,
Sure.
take your own car?
and park, one parking spot.
Mhm.
You know, It's $40 a night, or $50 a night.
Yeah.
That's usually held at the Sheraton, right?
Yeah, it's all at the Sheraton. So
That's where we,
It's right by the.
Hines, you mentioned that.
that's where Joanne and I had a 3-day honeymoon when we got married. Yeah, we were on a quick, we didn't have much money, so we came out, spent a couple nights in Boston, flew back to the Midwest. Yeah, we've been back there twice since, you know. Okay. I was wondering, Carol, if after the budget season, if maybe we could schedule another training session and try to get all the board members there, and maybe a couple others. Would you be open to that? Okay. You're the person we're gonna be working with hot and heavy on the budget, right? Congratulations. Angela?
I think you mentioned that you've gotten pretty far already with doing budgets for each of the departments. Are you?
Calculating all of the full cost of the department, yes. I'm waiting for, so the town contracts with a firm named Siegel, that is an actuarial firm that values our OPEB. So we received the report, and I had, back in the spring, I'd asked that that report be split out by department, and we actually went through every employee and every retiree and identified them by department, which had never been done before here except for water. When the report came back, it just had water separated. So I've been working with them this week to get them to separate it out by department. But other than that, then that task will be completed. I needed to build up all of like the DPW budget. I need to, in my mind, roll it all up to its completion, to have all their benefits and everything in order to allocate that budget out. This is the last piece that I'm waiting for.
Thank you. Sounds like you're making a lot of progress. And also based, on the session we had, the learning session, a lot of people had questions about what the departments were doing. And I think some of the people who weren't that familiar with the finances had a lot of questions about it too, so it really helped.
You have the other problem that goes with that, though, which is once you've getting this information available, how are you going to organize to do something good with it? You know, we've got lots and lots of people around town, and you know, you want to do the job right to be right off the bat, but then you got to make sure something happens. And so, you know, we might need some kind of a discussion about how do we want to approach this problem now that we have the data.
I think the simple thing would be to put it in the book that was developed for town meeting. And say, this is the cost per department, rather than what we do now, which is not correct.
Yeah, I agree.
Correct is not the right word. It is not told.
There is information that is underutilized.
That's right.
That's, okay.
We may not be able to do that under regulations, but do something.
Yeah, that's right. You may have to wait till summer, I suppose, too. Okay. What else? It's a light schedule right now. John?
Are you gonna go to the other two agenda items you have there?
Are you going where?
The other agenda items on the agenda?
Well, yeah, she gave us a tornado
Yeah.
thing. I mentioned the two the appointment topic for
Yeah.
members for Mike. The liaisons, I'd like to do that. If we could do it next month, that would be helpful to me. So I can get that out of the way.
We do it tonight? Or,
Well, there are so many committees,
okay,
you know, I think we'd be better off to do it with a sheet in front of us and
okay.
so on, if it's all right.
The question I, well, not a question, it's the water department, which I've had as a budget liaison. I'm planning to meet with them tomorrow. They're going to discuss their budget tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I just as soon as
Okay.
stay with them.
Yeah, good.
And the golf guys, I like the golf.
All right.
I don't play golf, but I like.
No, I don't know what happened on that. You snuck in there. I noticed, Joanne and I took a drive over yesterday to see if that little restaurant's still open in there, but it's not. It's closed.
Well, that's a good
Closed
question.
for the winter.
I'm going to ask a question, Carol. Maybe you know, on the golf thing, that this triggered something in my mind. Last year, there was a discussion on the electrical feed to the golf shed, and it was held up because it was a $250,000. I don't want to say oops, but where do we sit with that? Do you know? I've heard different stories that we've contacted the electrical company and they're going to do it now for $50,000. Or do you know what the story is?
No, but I'll find out.
Okay, because
Would you like me to just email
Yeah,
yourself, Jack,
if you
or
would.
everyone?
No, you can send it to all of us. You all just remember, you can't send things to each other.
okay.
You know.
I just remember 'cause that was a big $250,000
Yeah.
Yeah,
question mark.
major hangup.
Part.
The major hangup.
Right, because that delayed the golf cart.
Yep.
Charge,
Electric cars, because they didn't have enough juice to charge them,
Right.
even though they were putting a solar array in. But
When we were over there yesterday, it's interesting how much building has gone on in the last several years, all paid for by the golfers. And, you know, of course, the parking lot's totally empty now. And the buildings are, you know, nothing going on to speak of. And I just can't wait to see what happens next here. The good news is we'll get the golfers to pay for it if they want it, and that's a good way to do it. You know, whatever possible. All right. I don't have anything else tonight. Angela?
I just have a question. The Capital Outlay Committee, in the spring sometime, always gets one of the town little buses and takes a ride around town looking at key activities that are involved with the capital plan. Would you like, I can't remember the date at this point, but it will be announced shortly. Can I just send that to you and have everybody
Mhm.
get a copy, because
Yeah.
I think it's.
Should I try to call Rick Larios and,
What?
should I try to call Rick
Sure,
Larios?
if you want to.
Is he's still the top dog on
Yeah,
Capitol?
he's-
Okay.
You don't have, if you want to do it that way, that's fine. I think it's just it's an excellent.
Right. And they take it, we did that on the ZBA too, something like that. We went around, and looked at the properties and, checked, just to get a general idea of what we're gonna be talking about as a committee. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Hopefully there'll be enough seats,
Well, if there isn't, well, you just drive around following.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
take John's Mercedes and
I think
jump
you would
in.
like it, by the way, also, if you've not done it.
Tom, how's the school coming?
It's coming along. Is that the electrical advisory board meeting just before I came here?
Mm-hmm.
So they're still looking to have it by a soft opening for June, as far as starting to move some things from the old school into the new school.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking for that in June, and then there are high hopes that they will open September, that they will be operational for September. Looking at
Great.
the building itself, I think it still needs a little bit more close to, they're thinking by the end of the month it'll be close to the weather, but I think it's a little optimistic. It might take the end of December to get it closed off, and
Yeah.
then they can start doing hot and heavy inside. So, but it's coming along nicely.
Good. I
It's
know.
huge.
I talked to Bob.
Big building.
It's huge.
I talked to Bob Sanborn the other day, and he was very excited about how it's going.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just left him at
optimistic.
dinner.
Huh?
I just left him at dinner to run over here.
Oh, he's yeah, he was excited. And my friends, the Harwich Council on Aging, are going to have a luncheon for some of the seniors by ticket only, and so we're all going to get a chance to look at it, at least from the perimeter and the main hallway. I don't know how it goes.
They have a really nice film presentation
And
of they're going through touring each particular wing and all the shops, and I don't know, maybe Mark can get us that, because he was there setting it up and showing it, so maybe we could take a sneak peek for our committee, which
Okay.
would be nice.
All right. Do you think that'd be something we might want to look at here?
I think
One
so.
evening?
Yeah, I think, that's our tax dollars.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have anything?
I have one question. As reflected in our minutes, last month Chris Clark said that he would ask Carol to send us revenue and expenditure reports on town operations.
Okay.
And I was just wondering whether he had done that.
So, one of the other meetings prior, no, he never mentioned anything, but I just saw it in your minutes. So,
Yeah.
one of the other meetings prior, you would ask me for a quarterly report, which I sent at the beginning of October. So, if you'd like me to send it to the entire board, I can do that on a quarterly basis. And we prepare monthly reports every month.
Yeah.
And if you'd like us to email those are prepared and put in the Finance Committee's box downstairs on a monthly basis. But we can certainly email them out to you if that's what you prefer. The monthly ones are a little different than the ones that I interpreted that you wanted on a quarterly basis. The monthly ones come directly from our accounting system, and they show you by line item, so each individual line item, what was budgeted, what was expended, what was remaining in the budget. Whereas what I prepared for you in an Excel worksheet is comparing number of years. So I actually hid 16, 17, and 18 columns because it's just too much information.
That way,
But the
yeah.
report I have in front of me is the first quarterly report that I had emailed, and I rolled up those expenses by gross categories, like salaries and wages by department and expenses by department. So, I'm just happy to show you this. I'm happy to make copies for you tonight, whatever you prefer, or I can just email it to you, whatever you would like.
Emails would be best.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And is quarterly okay, or do you want to see the monthly, or the monthly reports?
What's actionable, truly? I mean, all we're doing, if we're gonna look at quarterly, that to me makes a lot of sense. But if
Yeah.
if you wanna do it monthly, it's like, what are you gonna do with the extra 2 months, you know? What do you?
I agree, yeah.
If it's a disaster, we're gonna know about it.
You can
If
always
it's
go
just
look at it.
business as usual,
Yeah.
you know, I think quarterly ought to be good enough.
I think just get our feet wet, I think it would be good to
Yeah.
get them quarterly.
Yep, okay. All right,
And Carol, you'll send them to the committee members? Thank you.
I'll send it tomorrow.
Thank you.
all 5 of us, all 6 of us.
6.
Okay, anything else, folks? Tom's ready to go home and have dinner. Okay, anything you want to say at this point? Okay, good. Now a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Tom, a second from Dan. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous.
Happy Turkey Day.
Happy Turkey Day, that's right. I'll send out a note about the next meeting